like to introduce you all and welcome Mr. Roy Babineaux. You there, Roy?
I'm there, Joel. Good morning to you, and thank you for inviting me on this call.
Right on, right on. So maybe we can just start a little bit talking a little bit about your past and the business. If you want to give us kind of a little bit of, maybe just briefly your background. You got into the industry, you were telling me, back in 1975, which I don't know if this makes you feel good or bad or indifferent. But I actually wasn't even born yet when you were starting in the network marketing industry.
Well, it does make me feel good, Joe, because what it does, it gives me that experience. I've seen it all. I'm sure you have too. But I love this industry very much. I know everybody on the call likes this industry or they wouldn't be in it. This industry has been very good to me and my family. Like you said, we started our company in 1989 as a hope that it would make it. Again, anytime you start something, you never know if it's going to be successful or not. You want it to be, but you don't know what the end results is. We were very fortunate that we had a successful company for over 20 years, a lot of success. And the reason we had a successful company is because we had a system, Joe, like you're doing with your Postcard Networker, that you make it so easy for people. Matter of fact, your system put circles around what we were doing. I love the way you pay commission. You can make an income 4 ways. I just love that. So
okay.
That's it. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, so I didn't want to get into too much of that quite yet, but so let's just talk a little bit more about your business. So here's an interesting thing. Back in 1989, when you first started, and through obviously the course of the kind of the 18, 20 years that you ran your business, you guys primarily built it through postcards and through direct mail, did you not?
Yes, we did. Absolutely. So it was a majority, probably, Joel, about 95% was done by postcards and direct mail. Correct.
Okay. And so essentially, you would print out the postcards for your members, give them to your members. Now, were you providing leads to them, or they were kind of finding their own leads at that point, or figuring out kind of how, where to send them, how to do them? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, what we do, Joe, we made them available. We sure didn't make it easy like you making it in your system, but we sold leads for the people that wanted them, but they were welcome to use their own. But we did make them available. Correct.
Okay. And through that, you were able to build a team or a distributor base of 500,000 people. Am I reading that right?
It's it's over 500,000, but that's correct. And a lot of those were successful because of the simple system that we made available to them.
Yeah. And then at one point, you guys were going through 1 million postcards a month.
That we could monitor, Joe. That's correct. I know it was more than that, but just to where I knew without a doubt that we could monitor postcards a month. And believe me, whenever we were doing that, Joe, I had to have the staff, because we take the inquiries coming in. Well, I had to have the staff that would just do data processing. That was literally their full-time job, to get the inquiries, put them in the computer, and get all the, the requests out in the mail.
Yeah, so basically back then you were doing more of a direct, kind of a mail-only approach. Obviously you weren't online, but you would send out a postcard, they would inquire, so they would either send the postcard back or send in a request for information, and then you would send them out a package with information about your business. Am I kind of following that correctly?
You got it exactly correct. That's correct.
Yeah, and folks, I just want to mention this too as an aside. This is similar to what we do, but we also offer, obviously the opportunity for people to join online nowadays, because we can give them the information instantaneously for those that are online. But believe it or not, Roy, we still have people, of course, that are doing inquiries through the mail only. We did the same thing you were doing back in 1989. We're shipping out packages, we're shipping out information kits and letters and all that kind of stuff, and that is kind of a true testament to the fact that I tell people, I've been doing direct mail for 10 years. Well, when I started direct mail, your company, you were just selling your company at the time, so really between the two of us, we've been kind of doing it consistently for the last 30 years in a similar fashion, and it still works today as well as it worked back then.
I agree, Joel. I saw it. Matter of fact, when we started, back in '89, the response, we found that 20 plus years later that we were still getting the leads coming in. It didn't change. Matter of fact, we were getting more exposure towards the end of our journey. And so, yeah, I agree. Direct mail was always dependable to us, always, just like it is today.
Okay, now you decided back in 2007 just to sell the business. So you sold your business, I guess, in 2007 and got out of it. But had you continued going and continued promoting using the postcards, I mean, it would probably still be going the same or as strong as it ever was today, don't you think?
No doubt, Joe. It was simple. People love the simplicity. There's no doubt if we still were going with a postcard system, it would still be in business today.
Yeah, and obviously you had a lot of distributors making money. You probably got some hate mail when and of course everybody's got the right to sell the business, and for personal reasons you took that opportunity at that time to sell your company. But I'm sure you definitely had a lot of people upset with you that you were closing the doors because you had a lot of successful distributors making big checks, right?
No, Joe, exactly. I hid up for a little while. No, I communicated. But yeah, people upset. Now we're friends today. I do communicate with a lot of them still today. But yeah, they were very upset with me for a while.
Yeah, and that's what happens in the industry sometimes, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Is that for whatever reason, and of course, I can't fault you for it. I mean, I know a little bit of your story, beyond what we're going to go on this call, but for whatever reason, sometimes businesses go in different directions. Now here's another interesting thing I want you to touch on, a couple of things, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about what you think of our business and the Postcard Networker system. But I was talking to you there the other day and then this morning a little bit, and you still get requests for information the same way you did back in basically 10 years ago when you shut down your business. Or 8 years ago. Now you still get requests to that same P.O. box for information about that business. Is that? I mean, I'm blown away by that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Exactly. It's actually a little bit over 9 years. You're going on 10, and yes, almost on a weekly basis, we're still getting requests for information on our company, our program, and not only. Yeah. By mail. Every once in a while, they'll hunt me down by phone. I get phone calls, and I also still get, believe it or not, just not even a week ago, I still get orders for my program. And that's, like I said, that's going on almost 10 years now that we actually sold our business in 2007. So,
yeah, now this is crazy. Tell everybody about the order you got just last week.
But last week we got an order. My wife opens the envelope. And she says, what is this? There was a money order in this envelope for $440 requesting a package. We own, the company name was Cajun Country Candy. Basically ordering some of our candy for $440. I never spoke to this gentleman. He never called, never wrote me. Just randomly sent me a $440 order, basically send me 10 packs of your product. That's 8 years ago that we were out of, we sold our business.
Yeah, and of course you're going to send the money order back to him, right? Because you can't fulfill the order today.
Correct. Yeah, unfortunately I do. But again, I appreciate it. It's a good feeling. It humbles you, to make you realize that when you have a good thing, people are still coming. I guess seeing the exposure we had, just like in your program. But it's such a humbling and a good feeling that we're still getting requests for information and orders.
Yeah. How many requests for information do you think you still get? So again, 9 years later, how many requests would you say, like a decade later? Think about this, folks. I mean, I'm blown away by this because I know that people still, I tell people sometimes, Roy, that I sent out my postcards a week ago. Where's my orders? Where's my responses? They get all excited about it, and that's okay because they're not experienced in this. But how many inquiries would you say you still get on a weekly basis a decade after you shut your business down?
So it's averaging about 20 to 25 on a weekly basis, which amazes still me and my wife. I'm just amazed, and it's like we never sold our business. I mean, it's like it's still coming in. When we had closed, when we sold our business, naturally with the post office, we actually did a address forwarding request, and after a year, as you know, the post office won't forward your mail anymore. So I happened to make a visit to that post office where we were, and talked about some memories, and the volume we were doing with this post office. And they kind of said, Roy, you wouldn't believe this. We still get a lot of requests coming in your box that unfortunately they got to return because by law they can't forward it to me. So I would actually be getting more, Joe, than 20, 25 a week if they would allow me to pick up that mail. It's amazing to me. Amazing.
Wow. And so the point, obviously the point of this is crazy because, we've talked about being patient in the mail order business. We've talked about obviously getting out a lot of volume. You've got your advertising sitting out there. And obviously you guys were mailing out, millions and millions and millions of postcards and direct mail letters and getting that information out there. But literally a decade later, still getting requests for information, still getting cash in the mail for a program that's been closed for a decade, or money orders, which is kind of funny. And obviously, you return them because you can't fulfill it. But the point being that you essentially still have the residual effects of that business years and years and years later from kind of that effort that you did back, 20 years ago.
Exactly, Joel. I can say this. These inquiries, if I send them the sales letter that we, sent to the request back 10 years ago and beyond, there's no doubt in my mind we'd still be getting conversion and orders into our program because they're requesting the information. Direct mail is such a strong way to do business, and it's such a simple way. It's so everybody can. It's so easy to learn. There's no learning curve. So that's what we love about it. That's what the people liked about it in our program, and what I love in your program.
Okay, so let's talk about that, Roy. Let's, because I feel good hearing. It obviously feels good just in general hearing about, hey, Joel, you did a great job, but more importantly, the opportunity that's available for everybody, especially new people. So tell me, what do you think about our program, Roy? Tell me, what kind of drew you? I mean, you're a previous MLM company owner that's excited about Postcard Networker and participating and building, a successful business in our business. So tell me what got you excited, what you're excited about, and what you plan on doing with this.
Well, Joe, thank you. What it started me the background that you and your wife have in this industry is appealing to me. I know y'all people of integrity, and so that means a lot. I'm dealing with honorable people, number one. Number two, the system y'all put together, Joe, is, it puts, like I said, what I was doing back then, I call it the old school, that was the technology back then. But what you've done, you made it even easier, Joe, for people where they get a postcard. Literally, all they have to do is put a stamp on the postcard. They didn't have that with us. Some had to find their own name. They had to put a peel and stick label on the card. They had to put a code. You made it so easy to where now if somebody takes your postcards, mails them out on a consistent basis, and gets orders. You're a good copywriter, so I know, that your postcards pull very, very well. I didn't have that option, Joel. I had to hire copywriters in my day and hope that it worked. So I love the concept where all I'm doing is mailing your postcard. You guys take all the calls. You guys do all the processing. You allow me to earn money 4 different ways with one effort. So one cost of mailing one postcard, I can earn money 4 different ways. And what I really like, Joel, is, typical MLM where you're promoting an MLM company, it costs you money. Your chances of ever making money immediately or, absorbing some of your marketing costs is pretty tough. Well, you change that with your funnel, where now I can build my MLM and make money on the front end while promoting my MLM and having a better prospect, because now they're a buyer. They're coming in as a buyer, and they're going to be more apt to look at your MLM because they're more serious. I mean, so what y'all done is genius. You've taken technology that we have today. You've made the postcard mailing so much easier than the past. Plus, you've added that website, Joe, was just, I know just from sales I've made, most of my sales came from the website. So you made it so much easier, and thank you all for that. I appreciate it.
So you think the postcards are going to work?
No doubt. No, it has worked. I mean, there's no question in my mind the postcards work. It worked for us. It's going to work better with your system because the postcard's better. You made it easier for people. And I tell you, I forgot to mention, Joe, what I really like, and I know I've already earned some of these. Not only are you paying commissions, but every time one of your personal enrolled people buy postcards, you get a matching set of cards. That's amazing to me. And so now all I got, my only cost when I get matching postcards is the stamp, to mail that card. So that's genius. I mean, it really is. Your system is genius. I love the training you offer people. Nobody could lose with this program, Joel. If they mail consistently, which I saw in the past, a lot of people used to ask me when I had my company, all these dealers that were making money, what was their secret? It was simple. Their secret was they advertised, they mailed consistently. That's it. That was it. They didn't do anything because we made it easy, just like you do. Everybody has a chance of success here because you've made it so easy. The only ones that fail with your system, Joel, are the ones that mailing postcards or advertising on a consistent basis. That's it.
Yeah, and that's so true. I mean, the difference between the people with a small business and the people with a really big business is simply just the volume of postcards that are going out personally and in their team. That's really it. What would you say to the brand new person, Roy, that's either looking at Postcard Networker or deciding if they want to promote their network marketing company using our system, or figuring out, can this make me money from home? What's your advice to that new person?
My advice is to immediately do your homework. Once you do your homework, you're going to be very excited like we are about this system. Join it immediately, and mail postcards. Keep this simple. Do not make this more difficult than what it is. Joel and his wife make this easy for us to succeed. Come in, buy your postcards. You set a budget that you can afford. Mail consistently. I personally like to mail like on a weekly, daily basis. Don't mail consistently, long term, okay? And if you have an MLM that you're promoting, attach it to the system once your new system is up and running, and make money. Make your money on the front end, and on the back end, you're going to be building your MLM. What a powerful concept. So, again, thank you, Joel, and any new prospect coming in, guys, you got to join this. There's nothing better than this system out there because it's a great way to make money and to build your MLM and to make money 4 ways with one effort. I love it. Love it.
Right on. Now, so for you personally, so one last question, and then we'll let you go, Roy. You've obviously kind of gotten the bug here. You've gotten the Postcard Networker bug. You're excited. You've kind of seen what we put together, and where do you see this going for you? I mean, you've only been in Postcard Networker now for a week or two or a few weeks. You've started to share it with some people, some of your contacts, and you've started to, pass out the information. What do you see this doing for you and your family, for your income in the future?
Joel, I see it. First of all, it's a home. I found a home. I love working with you and your wife because I know what y'all stand for. It's a home to me. It's just It's the best way to build a home-based business because y'all made it so easy. So again, I see in the future, not only when I advertise consistently, my income's going to grow consistently. No question in my mind. And what I do love, Joel, that you're doing, that I hope you don't mind me covering this, is, as we know, MLMs unfortunately come and go. We've seen it. Mine, look after 20 years, when things happen. But what I like is you made this easy by me putting my current MLM in the back office, on your system. Something happens with that MLM. I'm not totally out of business here. So I know my future is with your funnel, with your system, and I know my income's going to continually grow because I'm going to consistently advertise and mail, and so is my organization. And I love working, Joel. I personally love working with the people I personally enroll and give them encouragement. So there's no doubt in my mind this is a long-term opportunity, and I appreciate it again.
Right on, right on. Well, thanks so